Good afternoon, Patriots. This is the American Vision, broadcast on the TLBTV network and brought to you by the Liberty Beacon Project. I'm your host, Bill Muckler, the politically incorrect author who is broadcasting from his home studio in Cocoa, Florida. And today we've had a cool but cloudless day. Wonderful to be outside when the weather isn't too hot. And this show, I think, is going to be a little hot inside here. So you may want to tell the kids to go in and play in another room or something like that, because we're going to talk about some things that a lot of people don't want to hear. So let me start out by saying you've already read the article, so I can't spring this on you that we're going to talk about political correctness, and I'm going to be your politically incorrect host on this one. And as you all know, I'm the one who wrote 2020, A Clear Vision for America, and in the book I have a chapter on political correctness and civility, and you really need to read this because it's really a good chapter. But I'll start off the day by being really politically incorrect and saying, God bless you all. God save our America. You know, we need him more now than ever before. And I pray that each and every one of you and your loved ones, your family and friends, all have a blessed, safe, and prosperous 2018. Because by the time you see this, it's going. Hopefully, it'll be the day after New Year's Day. I'm pre-recording this on New Year's Eve, so just so you know what's going on. And I want to start out by doing something else that's politically incorrect that we do here in Brevard County all the time. For every meeting I go to, every time we have a gathering, we do something that's really politically incorrect. And for those of you who are like-minded, You'll love this. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's the way I wanted to start out 2018, with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. So you're wondering, why am I talking about political correctness? Well, the reason I am is because it's so deep-rooted into everything that we are doing in America today. And many of you probably don't have a real clear idea of how this all got started and what started political correctness and what the purpose of it was. You see, there's a very deep purpose for all this. And when I tell you this, I want you to be thinking, okay, what year did political correctness really start? Well, it could have started, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years ago. But it was really written down and formally started in 1948. I'm sorry, screwed that up. 1848. So that's almost 200 years ago. And it was a couple of guys by the name of Karl, Marx, and Friedrick Engels when they wrote the Communist Manifesto. It was a pamphlet that was published originally in London, I think it was. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to rebel, and they wanted to have a communist society. They were anti-capitalist, they were anti-democracy. And here again, don't get all upset. I know we're not a democracy. Our founding fathers hated mob rule, but it's easy to talk about that way. We're a constitutional republic or a representative republic, whichever way you want to talk about it. Why did they want communism, and how were they going to go about it? Well, I think we all know that they wanted to overthrow the czars or the kings or whoever it was in power. But they wanted to do it in a certain way that they needed to get the people behind them, and they knew the people wouldn't be behind them if the people had rights. So the whole idea of it was the people would not have rights, although they would tell them that this was all for them and everybody's going to be equal and there was going to be this ridiculous thing to each according to his needs and all that kind of BS that we've all heard so many times before. To get the people all on the same track, which is what they're trying to do to us in America today, the political establishment, the evil political establishment, I might add, is they need to do away with some things that we believe in. Well, one of the things we believe in is the First Amendment. And when I ask you, do you know what your 5 rights under the First Amendment are? I know you're not going to know them all because I've never found anybody that can tell me what they are. But freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom to assemble, and freedom to redress the government. So now you know them all. And they're all going to be in my new book, 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future, because I'm writing that as part 1 of my book, and it's going to be awesome. And while it's already written, and it already is awesome, you're never going to see anything written about the Constitution the way I've written about it. It'll be in a way that's easy to understand because it's all going to be written in dialogue by our patriots who are riding in the car and with some of the other new patriots that we found along the way. So what do they want to do away with? What does the political establishment want to do away with that's in accordance with the Communist Manifesto? And one of the things is Christianity. They need to do away with that because if we believe in God, we can't really hardly believe in their failed, flawed, well, it hasn't failed yet because they haven't started yet, but their flawed ideology, their idiotic ideology. And that idiotic ideology will drive us all insane if it's implemented. And, they've already got 40% of the people believing that they prefer socialism, which is a brand of communism, or communism is a brand of socialism, however you want to put it. So that 40% of the people already prefer that over capitalism and democracy, over our way of government. And what the people don't realize when they say that they prefer that is they think they're all going to have all the same rights and everything. They just think they're all going to get equal pay and they won't have to be accountable for anything they do. So anyway, that's really kind of what it's all about. And of course, they are against authority, any kind of authority, because the people are supposed to rule. But as we've seen in Russia and in Germany, where these socialist kind of governments took place, that the dictators were like the political elite, the political establishment in this country. They were the ones who were in charge, and they were the authority, and the proletariat were not. So, you thought we were citizens. Well, no, we're now the proletariat. So get used to that, learn how to spell proletariat, because that's what we're going to be in a few years. And of course, I'm kind of an old guy, so maybe, they'll have mercy on me. Well, no, they're not going to have mercy on me. They're going to come and get me because I'm making all these videos and writing all these articles and publishing these newsletters that are really kind of calling them out for their evil misdeeds. Sexuality. They need to get the people to believe that anything goes. That you can do whatever you want to do, anytime you want to do it, and there should be no restrictions on anything or anybody. So they started teaching sexual education, sex education in our schools, and that was all part of this grand scheme. How you like that grand scheme to lead us towards socialism? And of course, personal responsibility is out the window. That's another one that's really gone. And just a whole lot of other things. I can just go on, and I'd make this show 4 hours long, and none of you would want to watch it. You wouldn't even turn it on. So let me do something I like to do. I always like to read something out of my book. Maybe you don't want to hear something out of the book, but it's just a short passage. And this is a chapter on political correctness, which is chapter 18. And I'm just going to start out in the middle of a paragraph saying, Americans believe in the First Amendment and do not want people to tell them what to say, no matter how stupid their remarks are, or if they say something insensitive. The 2020 American vision believes in and wholeheartedly endorses civility. Civility may be a bigger issue for Americans. Too many people are locked into their electronic devices and don't take time to speak to others. The age of technology has eroded our people skills. In addition, we have become more intolerant as we tell others how tolerant they need to be, and that doesn't make any sense, does it? So that's something from the book, and kind of brilliant writing, huh? At least I thought so. You may have a different opinion, but if you read the whole book, you'd find out there's really 90,000 words worth reading in this book. So here's another one. Next paragraph, just start out in the middle here. Others find them insensitive. Some won't agree with what is said. We're talking about being offended by words. You know, I want to have the word offend taken out of the English language because it's just gone too far. We've just taken this thing to a level that is just beyond belief. It's ruining our country. So all should have the courage to speak their mind. The courage to speak is missing in an America that has become devastatingly polarized. The 2020 plan resolves this problem with its education and training programs. The youth of America will learn at an early age to support each other. Civility is reinforced and affirmed. And it emphasizes the role that all Americans have an important role to play in the prosperity of the Republic. Another passage in my book is an interview, short interview with Gene Simmons, who's the lead singer of KISS, with a liberal host, and kind of got the liberal pretty upset over this. The guy's name was, let me see if I can get it here, Camilleri. Anyway, he talked about why people should speak their native language as opposed to English. That was what the topic was about. And so Gene Simmons said, why? Because I learned goddamn English. I told you this is going to be X-rated. And embraced America's melting pot instead of separatism. See, isn't that what we got now? I'm actually saying that the thing that needs to be said, because the political establishment, the political climate, I'm trying to get this so you'll be, I won't be looking away from you. I know this is pretty unprofessional, but then I'm just an amateur at this. I'm a problem solver and a futurist, and I've got the ideas on how to fix America. I'm not necessarily that great on TV, am I? So he says, you don't want to upset anybody saying learn to speak goddamn English. If you make the effort, then all the possibilities of this culture will open up for you and give you all the rewards that I've gotten. He said, immigrants must agree to one culture that we can all communicate with, and then go off and speak Swahili and Farsi and whatever you want to talk. In America, I learned you have to have an inferred fiduciary duty to learn how to speak English. Get rid of your accent. I did. Be a legal immigrant. I'm a legal immigrant. Come to the country, just buckle your knees a little bit and make the effort to learn the culture. Assimilate to the point that you can. You are all proud of who you are and where you come from. Great. Whatever you're proud of just tip your hat to America, which is a melting pot that makes it all possible. Most important than his message against political correctness, which Simmons said only prevents immigrants from succeeding. See, he got it. He's saying this political correctness is keeping immigrants from succeeding. If you can't speak the language, you can't do business in America, you know. And this whole thing about press one for English is BS. I'm calling it BS, right? That hit the 100% mark on my BS scale. So anyway, strong, he spoke up and in my book I'm saying that strong words will make a strong point. So let's talk about immigrants a little bit. That's all of a sudden a big issue again. And I think I had a show on immigrants, talked about it somewhat. And here again, we are a country of immigrants, but we're a country of legal immigrants who go through the 10-step naturalization process. I've got this all laid out in my book. It's all explained in there. And you'd be surprised what a great immigration plan that I have. It's so far superior to anything that anybody has ever come up with in this country. We hear all this crap about comprehensive immigration and we're going to build a wall and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No, we got to let these people, because they're dreamers. We have to give them amnesty and we got to give them everything. We got to give them jobs. And oh, look how wonderful they are. One of them actually became a policeman, and he was really a great policeman. Another one was a good teacher. But what about the other 700,000, 800,000 of them that hate America? They're always pounding on our congressmen's doors and saying, we want more stuff, and we want citizenship, and we want you to give us everything, and we want our flag to fly. We don't like your flag, and we don't like your culture. And we don't like this country the way it is. Well, go back to the one that you came from that you love so much and make it there. If you think that country was so great, what are you doing here? So anyway, we're having all these political discussions about what are we going to do about the dreamers. Well, I wrote an article about the dreamers. Yeah, they were America's greatest nightmare is what they are. And don't get fooled by this dreamer crap. That was just a code word that Obama made up to make it look like, oh, these were such innocent, sweet people who just were dreaming for a better life. BS. They weren't looking for a better life. And this whole thing about, well, they came in and they didn't know what they were doing. They were just sent here and, the courts didn't know what to do with them and nobody knows what to do. And so we got to educate them and give them free food and free housing and free everything that we can think of and a lot of free spending money. I'm calling BS on that too. Okay, so what the politicians are going to do now is they're going to argue with our budget and our taxes plans, and they're going to say the deferred action what the heck is it's deferred action for something arrivals. That's whatever DACA means. It's all BS anyways, and just another one of these government acronyms to get us to think what in the world is going on here. Anyway, I thought maybe I could find something here that I guess I can. Anyway, DACA is a deferred action something for childhood arrivals. That's what it is. Doesn't that make it sound like, oh, these poor things, we got to take care of them? It's kind of like refugees. Aren't refugees just kind of like immigrants? Only they call them something different because They want to have a free pass. Hey, fix the problems in your own country. Do a root cause analysis like I did in my book. Boy, I did root cause analysis on all 20 issues. And you want to know something? The root cause of the refugees is that they've got their country all screwed up. They need to fix their country because that's their language, that's their culture, that's their civilization, that's their country that they're loyal to. That's where they need to be. They need to be in their country, not our country. You say, wow, we're a country of immigrants. Well, yeah, we're a country of legal immigrants who go through a process, 10-step naturalization process, learn how to speak English, and learn how to be loyal to our country and our flag. Pledge allegiance to our flag. Remember, I started out with that. So here we are. We're going to go through this whole thing again, and we're going to argue over, should we give them amnesty? Should we build a wall? Should we do this? Should we round them up in the streets and everything? I've got the immigration plan in my book, my 2020 book. It's the best, most far superior immigration plan you could ever imagine. And let me tell you, when you read this, you're going to say, wow, we didn't know this guy had such a great idea. Because it's a great idea. It's vision. You know, that's what we need in this country. We need people with a vision, and we need problem solvers. And I'm presenting myself to you as being one of those people. So what we got to do is we got to figure out how to handle the dreamers. And I'm not saying that we're going to send them all back, that we're going to round them up in the streets and we're going to put them in cattle cars and we're going to ship them back to Mexico or Guatemala or wherever in Central America they may have came from. No, hey, I'm not a heartless guy. I'm really a pretty nice guy when you get to know me. All I'm saying is that our country cannot afford to have two different cultures or more than two different cultures, all these different cultures and languages. That's not what makes our country great. It's not what makes us exceptional. And remember, when I wrote my book, and it's even on my webpage, you need to go to my webpage too, www.2020americabook.com. And when you go there, and all this is in the article, so you don't have to take notes, but we have to do something about what's happening in this country, because we've got more than $20 trillion in debt. And I've talked about that as well. We can't go on spending money the way we are, because it's going to take us down. You see, we already owe ourselves. We don't own ourselves anymore. We owe all this money to the government. You know, the government owns us. You know, and what do we own? We don't own our cars. We got loans on them. We don't own our homes. We got mortgages on them. We got credit card debt that's, you know, sky high and growing, and we keep getting higher credit limits. I mean, come on, folks. This ain't working. It's not what makes the country a great country. So when I wrote my book, I called it my optimistic blueprint to restore American exceptionalism. Wow. Just think of that, optimistic blueprint to restore American exceptionalism, because I want us to be an exceptional country. And we're not going to be an exceptional country if people are speaking, you know, we got 17 different languages or 65 different languages we're speaking. And if people are coming in through our ports and our borders and we don't have any idea who they are, and we're saying, well, we got to give them a chance to work. I'm not saying you don't give them a chance to work. I'm just saying you have to go about it in a structured, legalized way. And I don't see how the dreamers who broke the law to get here, and they're still breaking the law, and they're still causing all kinds of problems. See, they don't tell us about that. You don't hear this on TV. You don't read it in the paper. The media, the mainstream media that I call the shady stream media, because they're really a bunch of shady individuals. They ain't telling us this. They're glorifying these people. They're not. They're not. Trust me on this. They're not. And we can't go on like this, because what they're trying to do is make us into a third world country, which is going to be what? Ripe for socialism. See, I came around full circle to bring you right back to socialism, because they're helping us destroy the family, right? We want to destroy the family, and that's, you know, one of the Communist Manifesto things is destroy the family, break down the rule of law. And I got to tell you, when I did my video about America's 3 judicial systems, and I got some conversations with some people, and they said, well, Bill, you should really amend it. And I said, well, I don't know if I should amend it or not. I just didn't take the time to spell it out completely. And so I guess when I said we have a judicial system for we the people, that's a very strict, structured, formal, disciplined, by the law, by the Constitution, judicial system. That's for we the people. That's for us guys that are watching. You know, you guys are watching this. You guys and gals are watching this, and me. That's our system. Then we have a political system for the political elite, the political establishment, and they can do whatever they want. And you can see what's happening with this Muckler thing, and with Comey and Strzok and Wiseman and all these guys, Hillary Clinton, the IRS, the judicial branch, the Department of Justice, I guess I should say, the State Department, the CIA, FBI, they all have their own separate legal system. They can do whatever they damn please. They can do whatever they want to do, and they can get away with it because they're the ones who are in charge. We're not. We're the proletariat. You better get used to that. We're the proletariat. They're in charge. So anyway, and then the third system is the one for the illegal aliens, and the ones, you know, like the guy who shot Kate Steinle in San Francisco, the ones that are committing all these murders and rapes and drunken drivers running down and killing people, breaking into houses, drug dealers. You know, Trump was right about this. And everybody said, well, he's a racist because he's saying that. Well, I guess I'm a racist then too, because I'm calling BS on this stuff. It's the way it is. Let's don't sugarcoat it. Let's don't keep saying, well, they're dreamers and oh, they just want to have an opportunity. They just want to have a job and they need a safety net. Hey, I know a good safety net. It's called job. Get a job. That's a great safety net to have. That's what our grandfathers are for, and all them came fathers, grandfathers, great grandfathers that came over here. What they want? They wanted to work and they wanted to learn English and they wanted to be Americans. They didn't want to be hyphenated people. Mexican Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans. We got all that stuff. We had them before at one time. Polish Americans, German Americans, Italian Americans, Spanish Americans, you know, whatever they were. And it didn't work. It didn't work. And they didn't want to be that way. Now they want to be that way. They want to fly their own flag, speak their own language and everything. Well, what in the hell are they doing in the United States of America for then? You should be in the country where that's your country and that's your flag and that's your language and that's your culture. That's where you need to be. So how do we go about this? Well, we got to all speak the same language, and that language is going to be English because that's the language of the land. Maybe it's not the law of the land, but it is the language of the land. That's what we speak. And we're a Christian nation, but we certainly welcome other religions. There's no question about that. Our founders built our whole Constitution based on Judeo-Christian beliefs and tenets. But we welcome all religions. There's no problem with that. And we're not trying to make Christianity a religion. Let's face it, that's not what we want. We don't want a state-run religion. That's what our founding fathers broke away from. So We got to get this socialism, communism thing put to bed. We got to start speaking out. And I'm telling you all, I keep telling you, I think that you all are awake. We need to wake everybody up. You need to wake up your family and your friends and your neighbors and all those people on social media, get them woke up. I said, shake them, get them woke up, and then enlighten them and let them know that what they're being brainwashed with is not right. It's wrong. It's not going to work in America today. And we got all of our young kids attending these government indoctrination centers that they call public schools. Well, public schools are government indoctrination centers, and they're being indoctrinated to believe that socialism is preferable over capitalism and democracy. Well, we got to do something about this, folks. And you got to start telling everybody, hey, watch Muckler. He's kind of crazy, and he's kind of, he's not very professional about, his TV, but he knows what he's talking about. And damn good and well I know what I'm talking about, because everything I'm saying is the right thing to do. So I'm gonna end this my rant on political correctness, because we don't need to be political correct, because that's what they want us to be, to convert us into communism. And this whole thing about the religion of peace, it's not really a religion, folks. It's not a religion. It's a political, economic, cultural system that has a religious aspect to it, but it's not a religion. It's a way to take over. So that's another way of having people, in other political establishment, only they would be a caliphate. So we're going to be stuck with this, and we do have that fourth judicial system in America today. It's called Sharia law, and Sharia law is alive and well and practiced in America today. And we don't need all these different judicial systems. We just need one system, one American system, one American Constitution, one English language, one culture, diversified culture, because we embrace all the various things. Hey, I like Mexican and Italian food and all the rest of that stuff as well as anybody else does, right? So that's not what we're against. That's not what we're about. What we're saying is we have to be Americans, not hyphenated Americans, just be Americans. So God bless America. God bless all that are watching. Tell your friends to watch, because we need God to save our America, because we need him now more than ever. Happy New Year. I'm wishing you again a prosperous 2018. I want you to have a great year, and please keep watching, keep telling people to subscribe to my newsletter, keep asking them to watch my videos, share it with everybody you know. And signing off till next time, goodbye, Patriots.